Welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Wow, it's pretty weird to be live. Not gonna lie about that, but I am doing well, Dan. Dan, this is like back old. Speaking of like, it's sort of like a retrospective episode, if you will, a little.
hmm
And this is going back to our old time of recording, and it is late.
Yeah, it is late. Yeah, we're recording at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and this is what we used to do when I was on the West Coast because that were the early times that kind of worked. So yeah, it does feel like that. I'm already quite sleepy, so bear with us and such. Samson, before we get into anything here, shout out to everyone who's watching this live.
So many.
There's a bunch of people in the chat. We have Dave, D-Max, Steve, TPZ, Kirkless Man, Rockin' Horsebrat, TP. I said TPZ already. Kim, Noble Squashy, Jeff's in there. It's amazing. Yeah, we're
Wow,
live.
so many
200.
people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming out, everybody.
Yeah,
Happy Thursday evening, or
whatever it
late,
is.
yeah, early evening, I guess, West Coast. Very early in the morning if you're in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, big up Joey is also in here as well. So the agenda of today is well, first of all, obviously you've got the live chat. Some people are watching live, which is great. You can put questions in there that you can ask us if you want to ask us anything that's live on the pod. Feel free. But the topic of the day will be our podcast memories. We've got a bunch of questions that we kind of like put together in a script, and then we're going to go through all of these questions, stuff from our early days, some of our favorite memories, some of the community stuff, and also where we're going to see the podcast in the future as well. So it's going to be a little fun one, a little trip down memory lane. We're also going to talk about some more Walkabout Tokyo as well, just at the end. There's a few new VR games that have just been announced from Gamescom, or at least the release dates. So we're going to look at that as well, and that's going to be our show. Nice and tight show. Yeah,
Dan,
welcome
I'm just
Rick as
trying to
well.
sneak into the chat here myself. Welcome everybody, because I see how Bovidia slipped in there.
Yep. Yeah, you slipped in as well. Yeah, just put him in. So yeah, thanks for your lovely comments as well. Not only just in these chats right here, but also in the Discord. Like obviously, once since we posted that this is going to go live and such, we've got some lovely comments in the Discord, and it's lovely to see. Samson, we made it to 200. Can you believe it?
Uh, kind of, kind of. I mean, I wrote about this later on, but really, we take this week to week.
Yeah, yeah, we do. I think that's the only way to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I feel like it's such a small, like, we're so short-sighted with it that it almost helps maintain the long-sightedness.
Absolutely. Jeff puts in here, or Person Hurter as his YouTube channel is. He's put, my first episode I heard was when Breaches first came out, and you guys reviewed it. Wow.
Oh,
He says
wow.
I've been hooked ever since. Amazing.
Same.
And Samson, I do want to like. There's a loads of comments in the Discord which have been really nice, but I do want to highlight the two latest comments that we just got before we're going live because they are so nice and so sweet. TPC says, before things get too crazy in the live stream, I just want to say a big thank you to both of us for doing the podcast every week. I'm sure some weeks it's a challenge to think of topics and talk about VR. I've gotten a lot of value from this pod, from the interviews, from the devs to game discussions to VR news. You guys have kept me entertained for literally over 100 hours. Here's to 100 more. Thanks, Jeff, for everything you do. We appreciate you guys. How lovely is
Thank
that?
you. Yeah, that's Dan,
Absolutely
it's hard to find words. It feels good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One
Thank
last
you.
one. D-Max says all the best to us two for hundreds more. Keep up the great pod and Discord. I owe a lot for what you've done over the years. It's been a pleasure to be along the ride as well.
So it's what, 200 every 4 years or so.
Every two
So
years.
every 2 years.
Yeah.
We've only been at it
Oh no
2 years.
no no! Every 4 years. No no, you're right. Math
Okay.
math math.
Like, I was like, damn, like COVID messed me up, but wow.
Yeah,
Um,
math. I mean, we'll talk about that in a second anyway.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Earth Witness out there. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Hello.
yeah, Dan, I I don't know that I ever expected to get to 200 or 100, or I feel like somewhere I heard most podcasts don't make it past like 6 or 8 episodes. And I feel like I've seen some VR content creators and other VR
Mhm.
podcasts come and go as we've continued on, and others continue on. Shout out to our simulcast buddies, the Rough Talk VR podcast.
Yeah.
But it's we're, if not for nothing, we've been consistent, and 80% of life is showing up.
I have found out when our episode 300 would be, but we'll talk about that when we get towards like thinking about the future and such. So I did find out what the a date would be if we were to continue this every single week, like we have done for the last year and a half. To be honest, like we have been quite consistent. I don't think we've missed a week. If not, we have maybe just the 1 week missed, which is pretty amazing considering stuff that happens in personal life and just busyness and all that,
Yeah.
right? So it's pretty cool
We haven't
to be
even
consistent.
really like some we used to bank some of the episodes, and
We did, and we haven't
yeah,
actually.
yeah, we haven't banked
we,
any. Yeah.
we haven't. And shout out to Live Open Mic as well, for filling in, helping us when we needed as well. And one last shout out to all the Patreons, Kimberly,
Yes, yes,
Dave,
yes.
Alan, Amelia, Jesse, Joel, Leana, Richard, Steve, Vincent, D-Max, Earth Witness, Jenna, Jim, Joseph, Joshua, Vidius, and Seth. Thank you so much to all the patrons who have contributed and supported us. And also a special shout out to Healing Entree as well. And even though he's not a patron, he contributes so much to the Discord, to the community with the walkabout seasons as well that he does in there. So shout out to him as well. And just for all of you patrons who already know, to celebrate 200, you have got a little gift in the mail. At least some of you have. Some of you have still not sent me your address. I've emailed everybody. So those who haven't sent me your address, definitely send me that, and you'll have a little gift on the way. The first batch of you should get it next week. The second batch
Oh
should get
boy,
it the week after. It does take at least 10 days to come from Canada.
international,
Yeah,
international.
it is international, absolutely. Okay, perfect. Samson, let's get into the podcast memories. Let's
Let's
do it.
roll.
Let's get everybody warmed up first. Let's talk about let's do like a little fun VR lightning round first, okay? And Samson, what we could probably do is we could go question each. You know, I'll say one question, you say one question, and go from there. Um, I'll
Makes
s-
sense.
yeah, I'll start off here to answer to. I'm going to ask you first VR game you'd show a non-gamer friend.
Dan, that is a game we're going to be talking about a lot today, and that is Walkabout Mini Golf. And simply because most people have heard of mini golf, if not tried it in their life. And so, gamer or not, it's already a little bit relate. I'm hoping to relate to him a little bit. And if I only have one headset available, I've got my iOS Walkabout app,
Yeah, that's
and I
true.
can join in.
That's
So
true.
we've immediately got a co-op experience right off the bat.
I think walkabout's the perfect thing. Yeah, people in the chat were also saying walkabout as well. I wrote walkabout too, but I knew you were gonna put walkabout. Like I was like, this is gonna be obvious. But I also put chess club in there because chess is something that a lot of people know, obviously, or heard of at least. You know, it's incredibly one of the most popular games ever. But chess club, to see the mixed reality of that, and also the mode where you have the pieces fighting each other, kind of
Yes, some
like
battle
what it would
chess.
be in Harry Potter or so. I think that would be super cool to see for someone who's not into VR. Yeah. All right, Samson. Second question.
That was a good one. Oh, now I ask you, Dan, what was your worst motion sickness moment?
Actually, way back for PSVR one, there's a game called Rigs Mechanized Combat League, which is like American football but robotic in a way.
Okay.
I had it on the demo disc for PSVR one, and I was really getting into like, this is my first ever VR headset, as we've spoken about many times in the podcast. And I just try to take it a bit too far, played a bit too long, and my gosh, it took me a good, I would say at least an hour or so to kind of get over it. Like it's bad
You
when you
push
get
through.
motion sickness. Yeah, you should Never push through. If
Yeah,
you feel
that's
any ounce of motion sickness, stop immediately because it's not worth it.
man,
It's
that
it's
is
it's
silly.
gross.
Shout out to Rocket Horse Brett, who is playing the iOS walkabout currently while watching this episode here.
I love it.
Very meta. Uh, Dan, shall I take it from
Yeah.
here? All right. Well, honestly, whenever the screen freezes in whatever app I'm in, immediately no good, no bueno. What I do when I notice this happen is I shut my eyes and immediately turn the headset off.
Mm.
And otherwise, I just feel it. I feel like I'm gonna fall over. As far as within a game, VR chat, roller coaster. That
Mm.
once again, I just shut my eyes. That's the best part of when you start to feel ill or like you're like, ooh, this is no good, or this is scary. You can just shut your eyes and you're good. It's like being a kid again.
Yeah, yeah, it does, but like I said, do not push through.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you start to feel queasy, you do not want to keep going. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think I
for
saw
sure.
Kimberly in the chat say any VR climbing, and then Jeff says airplane games, roller coaster is in there as well. Yeah, motion sickness. It just don't push through. Sam, so next question: a VR character you'd most want to grab a drink with,
This was a tough one.
right?
This was a tough one. Dan, I think I'm drinking juice because I chose Max Mustard,
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm not quite sure how old Max Mustard is.
Just a little kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we got Capri
Drink juice.
Suns. Yeah, a little fruit punch Capri Sun, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
On ice, and we just have fun. Maybe I can borrow the jetpack shoes, and we can just like hang out a little afternoon.
Yours sounds much more fun than mine. I went for Edith Penrose, who is the main protagonist in Ghost Town. Um, she's obviously from London. I feel like I could have
It's a
a
mood.
pint with her at a pub and exchange ghost. Actually, I don't really have any ghost stories, so I can just hear some
Are
stories and get
you
scared.
Are you a ghost guy? We episode 200. I don't think I've ever asked you this.
Am I like
Yeah,
in real life? Do I believe
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
ghosts?
yeah.
Not much. No, no. I say that now, and I look to my right, and there's a ghost, and I'm like, But no, not too much. No, I grew up in the most haunted place in England called Derby, and you've always been told that when you're in a place, and if it becomes extra cold all of a sudden and such, or like really windy and extra cold or so, there's ghosts around. And the amount of times I've been in that city, in the town, in an alleyway or something like that, and I've had like a sudden burst of like burst of coldness
Well, it is
many
England.
times. It is England as well, but like just like a sudden burst, like out of blue when it's like a random hot day and it wasn't even wind. It was like everything's just gotten chillier and then it just disappears again. So yeah, I do believe there's something out there, but maybe not like Casper the Friendly Ghost or anything like that. Who's to say? All right, Samson, back to you. What's
Uh,
next question?
well, I wanna shout out T Peasy who wanted to have a beer with Quill from Moss because that was one of the ones I was considering, but ultimately I just really love Max Mustard.
Does Kimberly want to
You know?
have wants to grab a drink with the puffins in
Mm,
ice there?
mm.
I do have puffins. I don't know if it's a bit blurry on my on screen, but I have the Jaws Lego where my like fingers pointing up here, and I've put the puffins on the Jaws Lego set with the boat. So one puffin is right there on the tip of my finger, if you can see that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we've got
I
the
feel like
puffins up there.
there's, more appropriate things to do with the puffin, like having a puffin.
Right, right.
But anyway, moving right along, Dan. Dan, what is the best VR world to live in for a day?
I put Wanderer Fragments of Fate. I think that would be a cool VR world in because you've got all these crazy gadgets. I mean, in the person's apartment, there's a lot of cockroaches and such, which is not nice, but I feel like that's a great place to be in because you have all these cool little time travel gadgets, and you could take that as like a big time traveling day that you can go around and all sorts. So yeah, Wanderer. What about you?
That's a pretty good one. I haven't played that game, but I've seen the trailer enough times to know quite a beautiful world. Ooh, Dan, this is a good one. I thought long and hard about this one. Did not take this lightly because if I had to choose any VR world to live in, it would 100% be the world of Walkabout Mini Golf. And
Walkabout's gonna be an answer from a lot of these things.
well, Dan, first of all, if you're not making me select one course, I got variety, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I got if I want some cool cold ice slayer, Seagull Stacks hard. If I want to chill, Alfheim, Cherry Blossom. That said, you're making me pick one.
I was about to
All
say,
right.
I'm making you pick one.
Yeah, I
One.
see. I knew you'd do that, so I prepared. I prepared because I knew we'd be live, Dan. So I prepared for it, and it's a bit more of a difficult decision, though. I will say that, but I have to go with Cherry Blossom,
Mm,
and that's because although the actual mini golfing in Cherry Blossom isn't quite relaxing, looking at you, hole 18, and the outside world, quite a delight. And I would happily spend an entire day, possibly longer there. I'd
yeah.
ring the gong. I'd eat a picnic under, one of those beautiful sakura
You'll have a
trees.
good time.
I'd
I think,
search
yeah.
for I'd search for the skeleton, the little mini skull, the bananas, and the hidden door. Dan, there's a lot to do,
I just
and
wanna I
what a
just wanna
grand day it'd be.
say, Noble Squashy in the chat said it right. You picked all out of all the fictional courses out there, you picked one of the real courses. Like,
It's
this is a
fair.
real place, and you can go there if you want. There's flight tickets. You can head down to a similar place to that. But yeah, that is kind of
It
funny.
is
Just
based on real
you would like
places.
to go to Japan.
Honestly, I did think of doing like upside down, but then I was like, I'd just be
No, no.
confused which way's up, you
That's not a
know?
great idea. Jeff says trip would be trippy. I think DMAX said trip as well. I think trip is basically you take around 2 ounces of mushrooms and you'll probably get there. So you might not need to worry about that either. We got Sweetopia in here. Dave says he goes into Cherry Blossom just to relax. It is a
There you
really
go.
good course, and it's a really good like the music's really nice in there as well.
I've been spending a lot more time in Sweetopia because my girlfriend's daughter loves it, and so
Hmm.
as a kid does, they want to do the same thing every
Fair,
time.
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Most ridiculous accessory or gadget we've ever tried. I guess this is VR gadget or accessory. I didn't really know an answer for this, but I would just say when I was doing the YouTube channel, the amount, and even with the podcast, the amount of different head straps I had before I moved to Toronto because I had to clean out the room before I moved. It was ridiculous. I got so many random head straps, battery head straps, non-battery head straps, also other stuff like stands
Was
and such, just from random play, like some really good companies like Kiwi, for example, that really did some good stuff. But I had like 4 or 5 different versions of Kiwi's head strap as well, which I actually still have in
wow.
my, yeah, I actually have a couple of them in the storage still. Because I was like, maybe I'd still want these. But yeah, just random ones from like I just said yes to everything because I think I
It
got
was on your
excited. But
playtest days, right?
yeah, exactly.
That's how we
But
found you.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I got a bit silly. So I would say it wasn't the most ridiculous
Got a bit
accessory
silly.
I've had, but it's the most ridiculous amount of one single accessory where you only need one of them. But I had about 15 or 20 of them. But yeah, how about you, Samson?
Dan, it's got to be. I don't even know how I ended up with this. Why I bought it. It must have been a low time for me where I had a good amount of disposable time, especially to learn about the Deca Move, which is a hip-based locomotion device made by the defunct, maybe always defunct, really company
Mm-hmm.
Deca or whatever. And there's an Atom Bomb Body review of it somewhere out there on YouTube. So if you're curious, you can go ahead and YouTube that. I don't. Once again, I don't know why I got it. I'm not. I think I tried to use it once, and then I was like, "Why do I even need hip based movement here?" I really shot from the hip there. Uh,
I
but
remember there's
yeah,
loads of
there's
random
a swing
things
and a
like
miss.
that.
Swing and a miss.
There's like there's like an accessory that you can put on your head so you can control things with your mind and such. That there's yeah,
The
there's
Neuralink.
yeah, is that yeah, the Neuralink thing?
I don't know. Isn't that the chip for Elon?
Maybe it wasn't called Neuralink. I remember VR Oasis had it on his channel once. So there's some random accessories out there. Samson, your next question.
Yes, Dan. Thank you for reminding me to ask you a question. And that is, if you could delete one, this was a hard one for me. In fact, I don't really even like my answer personally, but if you could delete one VR trend forever, what would it be? Bye bye, trend.
Bye bye, trend. I feel like I could have picked a more fun one here, but I just put toxic people in public lobbies. I think that just applies to general online gaming, not just
Dan,
VR, to be honest.
don't go out on such a big limb and hate on toxic people.
Whoops,
That's,
my bad.
I don't know. People are going to come after you for that one.
But hey, this is one of the reasons why we actually started the Discord in the first place, was just to have like-minded people play together. So in a way, it blossomed. The Discord was born because of something like this. So yeah. How about you?
True. Does Horizon Worlds count as a trend?
Of course it does. That's a
All right,
big trend that's being pushed by
cool.
only
It's
one
gone.
person. It's gone. I love it. Horizon World's out. It's gone.
Yeah, already store improved.
Yeah. Good.
Stamp of approval.
Funniest VR fail you've had whilst recording.
Dan, this was a tough one too, because like I don't know
You haven't done
that
much of like
we've.
VR recording, to be honest. You've done some streams, the odd,
Yeah,
but like not too much.
exactly. So I used a this specific time that I've talked about on previous episodes, but uh, I don't do so well with scary things at times. And this was a few years ago, so I was even newer to
Hmm.
VR. So I asked my buddy Kai to talk to me on Discord while I played Lies Beneath. And I was streaming to him, and I didn't get that far into the game. So there's no way I was even that far into the game at this part of the stream. Because total, I probably played 2 to 3 hours. This is probably the first hour or so. And I got so scared, Dan. I curled up into a ball on the floor. And Kai's just he's I'm not sure I had the camera on me, just
Yeah.
the headset. And he says,
Oh.
"Hey, I think your stream went down. The screen's all black. What's going on?" And I just started laughing and I was like, "Sorry, sorry, yeah." I just went to the ground and I got really scared.
Oh,
So
bless.
as I stood up, you could see like, the death screen and all
Yeah.
that.
That's it. Is this is when you're scared. Listen, mine is when I threw my controllers halfway across the room in my third ever YouTube video. So, if for those of you who don't know, I used to have a channel called Playtest VR, which is still active on YouTube. So you can still watch this video. It's called Face Your Fears. Well, it is the game Face Your Fears, but it was my third ever YouTube video. But in it, as everyone knows at this stage, I absolutely can't stand spiders, especially in VR. I can kind of work around them in real life, but VR, no chance. And there's a room in Facial Fears 2 where it's a barn actually, where it's spiders everywhere. And there's one stage where there's a massive spider there, and there's like bottles on the left hand side that you have to throw to like knock the spiders away. But with this massive spider, the 3 or 4 bottles that I had, I kept missing because I was so scared. I was like on the side, and then I had nothing. I couldn't proceed in the game without walking through the spider to the spider. So I walked through it. It jumped on me. I screamed like a little baby, and I threw one of my controllers across the room. And it's all on video, so you can see it all in there. It's a bit embarrassing, but it's up there. So if you want to see it, you can.
That's
You can.
fantastic. That actually fits in well with the latest walkabout course. Not to bring up walkabout again, but I'm going to go for it. Because did you notice that they had the office with the screen and they had a controller in the screen?
Yeah.
Somebody did that.
There is, and we'll talk about it when we get to Tokyo later on. But yeah, there is a little gaming room where someone's rage quitted. But it's Cherry Blossom. How did they get scared in Cherry Blossom?
I
That's
don't
the
think they got
image.
scared, Dan. I think they rage. I think
Fair enough.
makes sense on Cherry Blossom if you're
Yeah,
playing.
fair enough. We got 2 more of these. This is the slowest lightning round ever, so we have 2 more of these questions. So go to you, Samson.
Dan, the one more level game that kept you up too late in VR.
For me, it was Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. When on the Quest 2, I couldn't put that down at one stage. Like every night, I would like dedicate time. Like just before bed, I'd be like, oh, I just want to. I don't know. Let's say I need to get to bed by 10 p.m. But I'm like, I just need to play maybe just like half an hour more or something like that, or let me just jump in for half an hour or so. I
It's
don't
a
think
scary one to play at night, Dan.
yeah, I know, but I'm a bit weird like that with horror. Like I kind of need the ambiance. If I'm playing a horror game normally, I can't really get into it. Like I was playing Resident Evil 2 on the Steam Deck on a train last weekend, and I played a little bit, but I couldn't really get into it as
Yeah,
much
it's like
because it's
laughing kids while you're trying to
yeah,
face zombies. What is this
exactly. And I
business?
was scared and such, and I was like, I kind of need to be in a dark room playing this. Yeah, it's weird. But how about you?
Uh, the one more level game. This is a tough one because Dan, you know, I like my sleep, so I don't stay up too late for much. But as far as losing track of time during playing, it's definitely Synth Riders and Breachers,
Yeah,
games I
yeah,
talk about all the time.
yeah.
Particularly Synth Riders because you just be like, oh, one more
Mm,
song, and before each song's 3 to 4 minutes on average,
yeah,
so it just builds up. You do that 3 times, it's been almost 15 minutes,
yeah.
and then before you know it, you're super. The thing that reminds you is that you're sweaty. Usually, at least me in that one.
I
Uh,
just noticed
but
Rough Talk VR in the chat as well.
oh,
Shout out
shout
Rough
out
Talk.
Stratus. Yep.
Yeah. Stratus actually said Mother Gunship, Beat Saber, and Ragnarok for this one more level.
Yeah, take it to the chat, Dan. What do we got from there?
DMAX
What?
said the Room VR. Kimberly said Walkabout Tournament trying to improve the scores. Noble Squashy still says it says Stilt or Knock. I thought he said still says Knock, but Stilt and Knock. Steve says Mac Mustard, which is great. Yeah, and also in the chat, Kimberly and Noble Squashy both said they found us
Ooh, the
separately.
maestro's here.
Bob Cobb.
Yeah.
Nice. 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 Talos Principal VR, he said. Yeah, there's always those kind of things. Dave says walkabout as well. Yeah, it's one of those like when you just get hooked on a game, it's a great feeling too.
Well,
Samson,
Dan,
you go on.
because hold on, let me. Yeah, I did want to. You know me, I can't just pick one.
Yeah, this
Uh,
is a great lightning
yeah,
round.
yeah. It's a lightning storm. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Lightning striking me so many times here. It's crazy. Because shout out to Max Mustard because I did, though I quite literally didn't stay up all night because I played 30 minutes at night because I just wanted to taste. But then the next day I finished it in one
Yeah,
session.
you did.
So
You did. Yeah, you completed it
it's
quickly.
basically the equivalent.
Yeah, I agree. Last question. Which game made you look the silliest whilst playing? It's very easy in VR.
Dan, you're so natural with the flow of these questions. I love it. Yeah, I don't even have to remind you to ask me questions.
It's like the
You're a
main
great
host all the
host.
time.
Yeah, you're a great host. It's incredible. Which game has made me look the silliest? Well, I've caught my brother and other people recording me playing Synth Riders before.
Hmm.
So I guess I'll say that one. Because I assume that these people and him are recording me with the implication of,
I can see that.
sending it to people because I look silly or ridiculous. That said, Dan, my girlfriend says I look like Baymax every time I wear my Beat haptics. So
Yeah, that's true. Actually, the B haptics does make you look silly. That's true. Especially for on me, I noticed that it doesn't really it fits me, but it's like the short because I'm obviously 6'3" and such. So it's like I'm almost wearing a crop top in a way. It does look a bit silly. I mean, and also you played in like car parking lots as well and such, and just on the street as well. So I could see that for sure.
yeah, I don't wear my Beat haptics though out in public. That Uh,
That's a
I
step too
I
far for
I
now.
haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't do it, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, for sure. I said Medal of Honor Above and Beyond because I got so immersed in that game that I was literally using my bed and using my couch at times as cover and trying to duck and go over, duck and cover, go over and such.
Did
So
you go prone?
absolutely. I did honestly I got so into that. I got so immersed into that world. Yeah, exactly. So that was it. TPZ says super hot. He also said he could crawl on along the ground whilst playing that game. So, there we go. Rock and Horsebat says Beat Saber, of course, and Steve says Wartown Wonders. My wife kept wondering where I was standing facing the wall for hours. That's really funny. That's really funny, and that's so true. Oh boy. Okay, that was our quick lightning round, which took half an hour.
Nailed
So
it.
let's get more in depth, Samson. Let's talk about some podcast memories, and let's start off with our like origin and early days. So we've kind of like broke this out. We're into like subsections and kind of done 3 questions per subsection. Um, so origin early days, Samson. What do you remember about recording the very first episode? It was
Not much.
technically episode 0 because it wasn't a podcast at the time.
Yeah, you're right. We just
We
streamed
just did a
the
video
meta.
on my playtest, and it was basically the episode. You won't see it on the Let's Talk Oculus YouTube channel because I think I started this YouTube channel 20 episodes in or something to separate it. But on Playtest VR, if you go down at some point, there's a Meta Quest showcase, like the first ever one they did, and it's a predictions episode. It's almost 2 hours long, but we got a lot of content creators at the time
We were long-winded even then.
who all gave us videos, and we put it in, and it was actually really, really good. We had so many people. We had like Mateo, we had BMF, we had the Between Realities crew and all that stuff. So yeah, it was really fun. But yeah, what do you remember, Samson? What do you remember about that one?
So what I remember most is the location. I was teach at my teacher job, so I think I was in the kitchen, or might have been in the bedroom in there.
Yeah,
I'm
you were in
not
the
sure.
kitchen.
Yeah, okay. I started in the kitchen. That seemed normal.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was pandemic times for sure, right?
Yep. Yep.
Uh, I remember wanting to wear a hat a lot in the early days.
You did. Well, you
Uh,
did had COVID. You had all the COVID hair, right? So you couldn't shave. Well, you could have shaved if you wanted to, but you couldn't have cut your hair because everything was closed.
yeah, exactly. I wanted to distract from my otherwise quite unkept style. Uh, and I remember us not really knowing the best way to like record or compile everything. And I remember having a really, really slow internet. So where uploading my end of
It
the
took like 2
podcast
hours,
it
right?
would take hours. Just
Hmm.
hours. Uh,
Yeah. We used
yeah.
to we didn't know how to record, obviously, so I had like a good video camera at the time because I was using it for the YouTube, and I was basically behind my monitor was a window, and I would balance my tripod against that window to try and get like a good angle.
Yeah, you'd stand, right? You had a good standing desk.
I had stand at some point, yeah, as well, and I'd record that on my screen. Samson would record on his, and then we would also be on Zoom, just to obviously be able to do the podcast. And then at the end, Samson would send me his clip, which would take like 2-3 hours to upload to me, and then it would take me ages to download. And I would then put my clip in. It was a whole mess.
Yeah,
But
we were
now
basically Amish people making a podcast.
we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, we were churning
Yeah.
butter while it was uploading and all that.
Yeah. The only thing I do remember from that first episode as well was I remember you in particular in the kitchen looking like Post Malone with all that hair.
Minus the
And
tattoos.
just that I wrote that down and I was like, I'm pretty sure he was in the kitchen kind of like looking like Post Malone with all of his facial hair and such. And lo and behold, I went onto that podcast episode and I was like, yeah, I was right. That's exactly how I remembered it. But yeah, no,
No.
it was solid. And Kimberly said you were looked a little bit shy when you first joined, but you're definitely not shy now. Which I could see that the progression from 1 to 200 is massive for both of
Yeah.
us. All right, Samson, did you ever imagine that we'd make it to 200 episodes?
Well, no, not really. I don't know. I don't think I'm not I don't think that far in advance, Dan. And
Yeah,
so thinking 4 years ahead, or even thinking of how long, like even now, I only thought about it because I know we got to 200 in the 4 years. But if you'd asked me any time before this, hey, how long till you get to 200? I don't know.
yeah,
We just got next week. And so it's a pretty incredible thing we've got here to like just be on the week to week basics, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, I guess it's in part why we haven't had as many developer interviews. So it's take a little bit more planning, and we've just been like,
Mhm.
flying by the
This is week by
seeds in our
week.
pants. What is the saying? I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at like a small scale, weekly basis, it like doesn't seem quite as grand.
No.
But then you're like, whoa, holy smokes, we've done 200 episodes. There's, there's not that many that make it that far, I guess. So it's pretty cool. Nice job, Dan.
Nice job. Yeah.
What did you think we'd make it to 200?
Know, but I also never thought about it. I also never thought that would stop anytime soon. I think a few months ago, I remember messaging you and just like talking about potentially at some point ending it, like not like immediately, but like at some point, because obviously we're 200 was like a few months away and such. And I was like, but I didn't feel like I was ready for it. But then also, I think we've had a conversation like a year or two ago of thinking like when potentially to end it. But I think that's nothing to do with the podcast and nothing to do with like the community or anything like that. It's more to do with our like personal lives. I think a few months ago, definitely, I was feeling quite burnt out because of my personal life and such, and everything was going crazy. And I was like, maybe the podcast is coming towards the end, but yeah, I definitely don't feel like that at all. And then plus, I felt like that for like an hour or two, and I think I messaged you, and then the day after, I was like, no, I'm not feeling like that at
it's
all. It was just one
uh
of those things.
it's sort of just become of like a part of my week, I guess. Like everybody in my life expects me to spend this hour and a half
Yeah,
or so doing this every week. I expect myself to do it every
yeah.
week. So like sometimes we don't even like really make a plan for when we're recording till like the day of or
The
the day before.
day
Like
before,
we
yeah.
just both know that Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday we're probably going to record, and one of those days we'll figure it out, and
Yeah, I
and
think we've
then
got
it goes from
to
there.
a good flow that we're able to like sometimes we do spend a lot of time planning it a week before and such, and which is really good. But then sometimes life is crazy and we do spend like literally the day before and put it together and then the day after we'll record it and it generally works out. I mean I guess you guys could be the judge of that, but yeah, we don't
Oh,
have
Dan,
any end in sight, by the way. I know I mentioned in terms of ending, and I don't want to scare all of you. There's no end in sight. Doing this 52 times a year is a bit mad, but it's part of my weekly routine now, and I love it. And there's no part of me that wants to stop it anytime soon.
I do see TPZ asked me about the sweater, and this is a walkabout sweater. It's from the Walkabout shop, and I knew I had a lot to say about walkabout, so I figured
Yeah.
I'd flaunt it, and it's finally cool enough here in the evening where I can get away with wearing this while we record and not sweating.
Samson, you haven't addressed the main question in the chat, and that's when are you going to get an LTO face tattoo? So you're going to look
Dan,
more and more like Posty.
I do
Just
remember
maybe
talking about
underneath.
getting tattoos, like getting it on my arm, like
No,
our time.
maybe on your like left cheek, an
Yeah, yeah,
LTO.
yeah.
I think it'll look pretty good.
Let's be serious and let's get a
I'm
tattoo
being
of
serious.
the time of when the podcast comes out on Thursdays for Patreons, and
Yeah.
that's what I'll do. You know what, I say this, but I'm just copying uh Hamish and Andy, who are an Australian comedian group, and one of them got their time tattooed on their arm, and then I think that their time that they went live or whatever changed, and he had the tattoo edited, I believe. But
I can
yeah.
see Samson getting an LTO tattoo at one stage. Maybe episode 300. I can see it. I can see it. If
Who's
anyone's gonna
paying
do it,
for it?
it's you. Patreons. They're contributing for your tattoo.
Quest for LTO tattoo. I
The
don't know,
LTO
Dan.
tattoo would be like $100. It won't be that too bad. There's only 3 letters.
You know what? We get to 1,000 subscribers, and then we host like a live stream for
We'll
the
do it
tattoo
at the
funding. We
tattoo
won't need
parlor.
much money.
We'll just do
LTOs.
it. We'll just do it at the tattoo parlor live.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
At a PAX East. We'll do it at a PAX East.
Let's go into one more question actually, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question for you, Dan.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part about starting the podcast?
Um as the like, obviously you're my co-host, but I think I'm obviously more of the host who goes through the questions and such in general. Even though you've done some hosting nowadays, with live open mic and some guests, which is
I've
always pretty
dabbled.
cool. It's the biggest challenge for me, especially when starting, was knowing when to speak and when to be quiet. It's really easy to now on when
Interrupt.
it's really easy to interrupt because you get excited, but it's not so difficult when it's just me and Samson. It's more when there's a third person, and especially a guest, or a third person will be the guest. But it's sometimes hard because I don't know when Samson's going to talk and he's going to chip in or he's not going to say anything, so it's going to be a bit of an awkward dead air, and
And
I
there's
don't.
often delays.
Right, exactly. So that was definitely the hardest part, but I think I'm getting better at that. Like I can kind of figure out when Samson's about to talk from just his body language now. So that always helps. And I also know when he's not going to say anything from his body language, which is
Yeah, and
always
sometimes
handy.
I just chip in with a little soundbite, like housekeeping.
Yeah, something like that, exactly. But I can start to tell those. But yeah, and just the general stuff, remaining constant and like coming up with things to talk about is difficult. My partner was always amazed that every day we do this podcast, I always can yap for like at least an hour or so. On just stuff that I may have not thought about for a while, but it just comes out of nowhere. But how about you, Samson? What do you think the hardest part for you was?
Well, Dan, the hardest part of this podcast is all on your end. I completely avoid doing all of the hard bits, and it's all the back end stuff you do. I still find it daunting. So uh, really, that's the hard
We
part.
have a good system though. Like I would think without you there would be no Discord. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff, and also just community driven stuff. Like I'm still not great at that. And you're the person who kind of drives that and encourages that side of things.
I
And
am on Discord an unhealthy amount.
and even though like primarily I would probably make a script, you still do contribute to that script as well. And sometimes I just ask you, like, hey, I don't know what a topic would be this week. Can you think of something? And you normally come up with something. So it does work. It's not like it's all me doing the script or you doing the Discord. Like it does. We do share
Yeah,
some of
you
that.
definitely do
So
all the posts.
yeah, but yeah, fair enough. Let's go into so that's our like origin early days and such. Let's go into our favorite moments. And unfortunately, we did have clips from different old podcasts that we'd had lined up, loaded, ready to show you, but we've tested it just before the stream, and for some reason they're not loading. So apologies that we can't show you those clips. We'll have to reference them and maybe put them in the description. But favorite moments, Samson, what is your all-time favorite episode?
Yes, all time favorite episode. Dan, this is a curveball. Nobody expects it. In fact, let me get the drum roll, please. Did it play?
No, it didn't.
Uh,
You try to be with the live effect. Oh,
all right, I nailed it. All right.
that was jarring. Continue.
Yeah. It's all the walkabout interviews. Uh, it's specifically the ones we've done in walkabout. Uh, because if you had asked me, uh, Walkabout came out before this podcast, and
Hmm.
if you had asked me when I bought this mini golf game that was $15 with 4 courses that I somehow convinced a few of my childhood friends and my brother to play with me, that I'd not only be talking to the developers but like getting early access to courses and content, I would have thought you were insane, and I then would have told you to go back to the future and let me live my life.
You're not insane. You do, yeah. I think the Walkabout crew the Walkabout game is definitely reflected from the Walkabout team of how like kind and nice they are, and we've always had good interactions. It started with Edward just because we normally record, or used to normally record on a Sunday, and obviously the Walkabout team would be on off because it's the weekend, but Edward's in Australia, so he would just join us on Monday morning
He
Australian
lives in the
time.
future.
Exactly. So it kind of worked out. So we had a couple podcast episodes with him and well, him in particular. And shout out to PJ from VR Verdict who helped us record the first one in Walkabout. We did it in um, what's the 80,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Is that no? Have I just put two walkabouts together?
I believe there are 20,000 of the
Yeah,
leagues.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking of 80 around the
Yeah,
world
you
in 80
combine
days,
them,
and I
you
missed the
mash
two.
them. Yeah, yeah.
And then shout out to Dave for helping us for the second one, which was a missed as well, that we recorded in there. But yeah, it was a great time to speak to Ed. And then obviously we had our show last Christmas, which was all about the um, like both Dave and Ed as well. David from Walkabout, that is, which was really fun. But yeah, I agree. The Walkabout Racket, for me, all-time favorite episode was actually becoming a CEO, which was episode 51. And that was just a really funny episode and really fun to do. The whole premise of it, for those of you who haven't heard of it, or it was so ages ago on episode 51, was we both had like a bit of a budget of like
Does that one
five.
age well? I don't know.
It does age well, actually. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I actually watched it back for in preparation of this, and
Okay.
it's just really funny because the whole idea of it is that we both own VR companies, hardware companies, and we have to create our own VR headset, and it has to be like $500 and all that stuff. But Samsung's is like a pretty straightforward headset. It's basically done a Quest 2 with a little bit of extra features, and we also did drawings afterwards, so you could see the
I do
drawing of
remember
his.
drawing it.
And mine, I just went crazy and was like, it's got like a haptic glove, and like I took the $500 budget and I absolutely blew it out the water. And I also did drawings of it, but it was just really funny. It was just a funny episode, and it was fun to do. And I really like episodes like that. We won't do them all the time, but like random episodes like becoming a CEO. The one we had this year, actually, we had creating our own VR game, which was a fun one to do as well. So
Yeah, I've
yeah,
since like had a lot more ideas for that, so I hope we do that one again. I also, maybe it's an ego thing. I like my own ideas and stuff because that one was I did find that one to be pretty fun.
yeah,
It reminded me of being in. I was a business major in college, and it reminded me of, like, getting assigned a project and like just like you could just run with it, and
yeah,
then you just like there's no wrong answers really. Just come up with an idea and then reasons for it, and
exactly.
and sell it,
Yeah,
and bing bam boom, you got an idea, boom.
fun time.
But yeah, we'll do more of those. I think for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the game idea, hard. I like the game more than the hardware, but
yeah.
maybe we'll take some ideas from the listeners.
Samson, which guest surprised you the most in a good way?
Ooh. So I'm most surprised by the developers who like just develop an entire game as their hobby, and like
Mm,
it's not their job there at all. And so I'm gonna stick with the Heiser Flip developer.
yeah, disc
Uh
golf.
yeah, the disc golf. And shout out to DMAX for introducing us to that
Yeah,
game. And yeah, that's just really it's just really cool to me to like meet someone who has taught themselves something or gone to school for it. I don't really remember
mm,
at this point how he learned in particular, but just somebody who does it in their free time and like makes something so cool and
yeah.
fun.
It's impressive. I think it's hard to pinpoint exactly one guest that really surprised you in a good way. I wouldn't say surprised, but like I just really enjoyed in a way. But because there's been a lot of guests that we've had which have been really good. There have been a couple of guests which have been really bad, but I won't say any names. But like most of them have been like really good. And I just wanted to shout out Pete Austin, who was on 6 Degrees of Freedom, a reviewer, and I think he does it on Upload VR from time to time now as well. But his episode was LTO 63. Just a great dude in general. Like we went off in tangents. We spoke about reviewing games and his process, and it's such a passion for it and his whole
He's a great
procedure.
listen.
Great listen, great voice as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Picking up what I'm putting down.
he was great. So yeah, that was the one that I went through all the guests, and I was like, if I would highlight one that surprised me. Not like I didn't think he would be good, but this is not a developer, not a content creator. This is a reviewer, and we've never had that. And I don't know if we've had one like that ever since. And it was just a
It's
great,
true.
yeah, just a great one. So that was LTO 63 with Pete Austin. Sam,
We gotta get Henry from Upload.
yeah, that actually would be great. I'd love that actually. What was the funniest or most unexpected thing that's ever happened during recording?
Dan, I left this one blank. I don't.
You wasn't sure?
Yeah, I can't really like. So. I guess it's more of a mistake. I feel like than I'm thinking of, which I feel
Oh,
like we talk about later, right?
yeah, you can keep going.
Well,
Tell,
just that
tell me.
I know we've started like the podcast and didn't hit record,
Oh yeah.
and I forget how far into it we got, but it was like a segment.
Oh, it was like 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I don't remember which one, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that was definitely in the older times because now the software we use now is like it's pretty hard not to do it, but you still
yeah.
have to press.
Everything's red.
We just didn't press record,
Yeah,
so that was the problem, and it was really, yeah, it was a terrible idea, oh, a terrible thing that happened, but we just did the whole thing again. Yeah, the only thing I put more on the unexpected side was episode 0, the first ever one where we got all those predictions from not say everyone, but like most of the big VR industry people on like content creation and such at the time. That was really unexpected. I remember just my phone just blowing up with messages from on my DMs on Twitter at the time, just with, oh, here's my clip, here's my clip, here's my clip, because I just messaged a bunch
it
of
was a
them, and it
different
was
time on
really,
Twitter.
yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, all right, let's go behind the scenes.
Oh, hold on, Dan,
Oh yeah,
because this was where I threw in my random insights.
go on.
So a few random insights because I was just going back. I I don't really look back too often as I don't look too far ahead. I'm a moment guy, you
You're in
know.
the present.
Yeah, yeah. We had Mateo on within the first 20 episodes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So hello everybody.
we had him on
Uh,
twice in the end. Yeah.
yeah. We had a title of an episode called "Does Oculus Need E3 to Send VR Mainstream?" And Dan, I could any title be more outdated than all of those words put together? I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's-
Oculus doesn't exist. E3 doesn't exist. You know, uh, and then yeah, just super cool to have people like Pete Austin, who I like. I listen to talk so much, and then to be speaking to him is
Hmm.
is kind of surreal. Same with like Sadly Bradley is.
Yeah, that was a cool one
Yeah.
too. And shout out to Jeff Bull Jr., who's on the Walkabout team, and he was our first ever guest on Let's Talk Oculus, like back on episode 7 or something like that, which is just mad. He wasn't part of Walkabout at the time, but he is now.
Yeah,
Uh
he was playing his that was some like mini horror game. I remember
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like a little
the
horror game
jump
we had.
scares. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, let's we got 3 questions for behind the scenes. Have we ever had a total recording disaster that listeners don't know about? We've kind of already said that. I don't remember what podcast, but I remember once, I can't remember the guest, but this was really early. This is around Jeff, but not it wasn't Jeff. Um, we recorded the whole podcast and it was not good. Like the whole audio wasn't working. It was not like I didn't hit record, like it just didn't record properly. So basically, I think Samson, you were away. So the next day, the guest was so kind to just do the whole thing again. But it was a bit weird because some of the questions I said, he'd say it again, but it would be a little bit different and it wasn't as good and such. So yeah, that was like really early on though. But I've definitely had more disasters when recording my YouTube videos than podcasts, to be honest. It's pretty straightforward.
yeah.
What's the weirdest place we've ever recorded from? I think Samson, this is more for you because
You're pretty consistent
I'm
and
I've
pretty
just
normal.
normally been in 3 places, either in Vancouver, Toronto, or my house in the UK. And that's
I mean, all in Canada. That's pretty weird in and of itself. But you did used to have a mirror behind you.
I did, yeah, I did.
Uh, but I'll talk about myself here. And I was in a kitchen and an unfinished basement using a table tennis table. So those, whichever
Nice.
one of those is weirder,
Mhm.
that's the weirdest place probably.
My only it's not the weirdest place. The only one that I've mine's out there was when I was minding my friend's cat, because she had to go somewhere and she needed me to mind her cat, and I had to record the podcast, so I just brought my laptop and did it in her house, and it was just a bit weird. I just felt a little bit, it was
At a
just everything
place,
felt
yeah.
out of place. Which episode took the longest to prepare or edit? I'll take this one first. The longest to prepare are definitely the revisited series. I know we've only done 2 episodes of that, three episodes of revisited.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of history.
they take the longest because they take a lot of research, and also we have to play the game to almost completion, if not completion. And then we need to like pull our thoughts together and put it into a nice script. Like the first script that we did, which was for Super Hot, that was 7 pages long.
That
'Cause
was, and Super Hot was a good one because there's already a lot of,
there's a lot to pull
there's a lot
from.
of, yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
research aspect on that one was a bit easier.
Yeah, exactly. So there will be another revisited episode for sure. We just haven't done one for the last like 2 months, but there will be another one for sure. I just don't know what the next game would be. So let us
Yeah,
know
we've
in
been
the chat.
talking like The Climb or Saints and Sinners or something, and yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't really we haven't locked
I
in
know
there on
Jesse
one.
wants Saints and Sinners. I remember him putting something in the Discord about that, but yeah, we'll have to come back. Did you have any thoughts on that question, or?
I just wrote down whichever one I fucked up most for Dan. So maybe ones I hosted. I'm not sure. Sometimes I throw in weird sounds for the mic that Dan has to deal with, or like I'll touch things, or I'll peek just really randomly. And then in the ones where those things happen a lot, I
Yeah.
imagine are
It
the
just
ones
is
that.
I've got it down to a T now where like editing the pod would take me if there's no issues, I would say 30 minutes it would take me. Like Samson just took a weird little drink there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, oh, there I go finishing my
There we go
drink.
again. But I wouldn't bother. Okay, okay. I wouldn't bother taking
ASMR.
those things out. But yeah, normally it takes me 30 minutes to record the whole, to edit the whole pod. To be honest with you, but the thing that takes me the longest is putting all the timestamps in. Because what I do on the YouTube, even though not many people watch on the YouTube, I put in all of the timestamps on YouTube so you can see them as you're watching them. So if you skip to something, you can see it what we're talking about on the screen. But even though not many people watch it on YouTube, it's worth doing that because it's easier for me later on to create the description timestamps because I can just copy what I've already added in there. But still, that's the longest. That could take me if we're talking about many different things or like the VR game showcase that we did a couple weeks ago. That took me ages because we went through almost every game, so I had to copy that every single way.
I
And
see.
yeah,
So it's when we have a lot of topics.
exactly. And also, yes, when Samson is doing his terrible accents.
No, yeah, I don't think I need to like hear a Scottish one. I need to like watch The Simpsons, Groundskeeper, a few times before I can even attempt it. I can't even. I'm more of like a parrot when it comes to something like that. You know.
Right, right, right. All right, next set of questions. Community and listeners. What's a listener story, comment, or message that really stuck with you?
Dan, this is sort of none of those things because here I am doing what I do, but it is listener related because way back in the day when I first started careering, driving, that is to say, we added a driver's ed segment to the end because there's a lot of terrible
Drivers
drivers
out
out there,
there.
and at least once a week I was able to log a story to talk about here, and I forget who it was, Dan, but they made a whole sound bite, like a whole sound like intro to the to the
Yeah,
to the part.
yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. One that there is one comment in particular that I've got, which I just can't share because it was very personal, but it was amazing to hear that. So I won't mention that, but or I won't talk about that one. But outside the comments, early days hanging out on big screen with a lot of the Discord members, which was really cool. Like I remember watching an episode together too
Yeah,
with
that's
a few
crazy.
folks, which is cool. But honestly, like we get a lot of beautiful comments all the time, like whether it's on Spotify or through the Discord or just like general comments and even just like little comments that Inferno puts in on the Discord, just saying how great that he
Every
enjoyed the
week.
pod, which is really nice. But one of the ones that always stick with me is when I hear it more in person, and obviously not in person because we're in VR. But like Joel, I put him for example. He when he came into the walkabout Thursdays, the first time that I saw him in walkabout, he didn't say anything to me in like praising the podcast, but or maybe he did. But like thing that got me was when he was just simply talking about the latest episode, which I thought was really cool. Like he was just talking about it, not even like to me, just like in general to the group and such about the latest episode that he just watched or listened. And I thought that was really cool, and it's the
Yeah,
best feeling.
like what we had produced is just out there
Yeah.
as like a common knowledge amongst our listeners.
Yeah, when people like
Yeah.
say I'm listening it on my commutes on Fridays, also when people like are just like I've got lots of for the Patreons when I've sent an email asking for them for the address to send the gift. A lot of people replied with a lovely comment as well, which was really nice. So yeah, there's not like one. Well, there's not one particular that I could say or not, but like they've been really nice comments in
Yeah.
general.
The comments are really nice. I often like to screenshot them and then I send them to my close friends who don't care. Justifiably so, it's a nice comment to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's just for us. Did the fans ever change? Oh wait, did I say? Yeah, I missed a question. Doesn't matter. Did the fans ever change the way we approach an episode or topic? And I would say absolutely. Just keep asking us questions, keep submitting comments, and we can shape the show on that. Sometimes the comments are worthy a whole episode. To be honest, wouldn't you agree,
yeah,
Samson?
that's what I said. The questions drive particular episodes, like dev suggestions sometimes. Our walkabout nights, that drives a portion of the podcast nearly weekly.
Yeah,
Uh, and then our short-lived shout out to Dave, our short-lived LTO live series.
yeah.
That that was pretty driven.
Yeah, and just on the same vein, another question here: how has the Discord Patreon community shaped the podcast? And I'd say the community is the pillar of the show. Like it's what made us get to 200. And one day, if the podcast does end, I hope that the community stays alive for much longer as well. And we couldn't have done it without you. But yeah, I also couldn't do it without Samson as well. Like we need both of us. Like it just doesn't. I can think sometimes I've thought in the past, like, what if Samson does say he's like done? I'm like, do I just continue it and find someone else? It's like I feel like it would be a hard
Yeah,
thing to
plug and
do.
play. It's like Legos.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but yeah. And obviously the Patreon contributions are really nice. Like we saved most of it. We did use it for our Quest 3s, but the software that we record isn't cheap, and sometimes there's subscriptions to like Canva, the PAX T-shirts that we made, and obviously the gifts that we send, and all sorts like all those things. Most of the times we're not spending too much money on that, but it's all being saved, so whenever we need it, we can just use it. So we're really
It's nice to have
appreciative
it
of
in the
that.
bank.
Exactly, exactly. So like if one of our mics ever goes out and we need to buy a new mic, then we could just use the
Yeah.
Patreon money.
We should really get in like some CDs or something.
Yeah, fair. All right, Samson, growth and reflection. We've got two more segments here.
Damn,
Uh,
we're right on time. Wait, an hour in? This is
yeah.
perfect.
How do you think our style has changed from episode 1 to 200?
Well, certainly we're way more organized,
Yeah.
like both in like segments and just how we go about it. I feel outside of that, ah, I assume we've gone through great change, but it's been so uh, in small steps that it's hard to see. We've been like the frog that gets boiled slowly,
Mhm.
except not bad.
Sure, it's an interesting analogy, but sure. I think we've much better at giving each other space to talk. I think I mentioned this before. Like, I think I know you a lot better now in terms of how you are in the podcast. So then, also when I'm choosing topics and choosing new stories to talk about, I don't think unless I have a lot of things to say, I try and think about both of us in terms of like, will Samson have much to say on this as well? And if not, then maybe it's not worth putting into a podcast. So I think the core of the show is the same. If you watch episode 1 to episode 200, the core is the
It's
same,
more
but
tailored.
it's more growth. And I definitely see the growth in you, Samson. I see the growth from episode 1 to 200. You're like a different person. I'm a different person
Did
too.
you just watch one? Did you
I
just?
did. I watched a couple of the old ones. Yeah,
I thought about it.
I did.
I looked at the topics.
Yeah, I watched a couple of the old ones, and yeah, I can see the growth with you. And then for me, it's just that I'm like 30
Call me
pounds.
fat.
Well, I'm like 30 pounds heavier, is what I was about to say. Which
I'm
in a good way,
same.
to me in a good way. I looked at myself in episode 1 and 2 because you can see most of my full body. I'm like, wow, I was so skinny, it's ridiculous. So, like in a good way, I'll take that. Um, Samson, the next question here.
Yeah,
What's
Dan.
Yeah.
What's something you wish you could tell your past self?
Oh, I actually put nothing on this because I think what we've done is great, and nothing. I wouldn't change anything. If I was to add anything, is I would add shorts to our repertoire so we could be more on the socials and such, and I think that would gain more audience. But we simply just don't have time. And
That would add a whole nother, yeah.
one day, I'm trying to change my like career in my actual life, and if I can do that, then I will have a lot more time. But right now, I don't. So yeah, I just don't have time.
Well, I'd go back and just tell myself to look at the camera more, probably.
Yeah, fair enough. You do a good job looking at the camera because my
I'd
camera's so
try to get better
high.
at it now.
Yeah, you do a good job. What is the biggest thing we've learnt about VR or podcasting since launching?
Be consistent.
Yeah, yeah. And ours would be my mine would be you just have to put a lot more effort than you think. Especially when building an audience, and there's really not enough time in the day. But I have learnt so much about audio editing, like the sound, the lighting, and in terms of your room and such, and how your room's laid out, sound panels, all sorts. Like I've learned so much in that respect because otherwise, if our mics are decent, but they're not like proper podcaster,
Oh,
like
dude,
they're not
when we
like
were on with Rough Talk,
it's not the rough talk mics.
I sound so good that
Yeah,
episode.
exactly. We don't have those mics. But that's so like there is a lot of post stuff to edit it, but I've once again got it down to a T, which is really
Dan, we got
easy.
a little question from there from Steve. Would we still call it Let's Talk Oculus, knowing now that it has changed?
We talked about that earlier last year, and if anything, if we were going to change the name, we would probably still have LTO as the name, and we would probably just change it to LTO a VR podcast instead of Let's Talk Oculus. I think I like the letters LTO. We're so
Yeah,
used to that
it's
now.
good branding.
Yeah, so no, I would change it to LTO if anything. And yeah, I spoke to Meta actually about this because we're not in the creator program, and I was like, is there the reason why we're not in the creator program because we have Oculus in the name, and all of the documents that they sent me before says you can't reference the name of the word Oculus, but they said no, they said it doesn't matter, and I was like, okay, but now I'm keeping the name for now.
Yeah, there was a time where I was thinking, let's go, Let's Talkulus.
That's
But
terrible.
I love combining words.
Yeah, it's terrible. Last section here, looking ahead. So if we could redo one past episode with today's knowledge, which would it be?
This is a tough one, and so I'm actually once again changing it, and I'm it's a guest. I feel like we sort of missed out on getting, because I'd love to go back and get Eric for president on when he was like actually producing VR content, and because I loved his discussions with Ryan from Golf Plus and Six Live and Thrill Seeker, and yeah, I would just would have loved to have him on and to get to know him a little bit more uh, as the creator before he left. And but though I think he's still at Big Box. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he just doesn't do any creation as such. Yeah, absolutely. I Sorry, I went to a different script for a second. I would redo the podcast with the content creators again, like Mateo 311, Gamer Tag springs to mind as
Mm,
well. Like
some good
I
ones.
think they were fun, but we had them so early and we were very new to this. And I don't think I personally got the podcast structure right. Like with the devs, it's much easier. We're kind of talking about their game and how they got into VR and such, and the formula is like very similar. And also depends on the devs. Some devs are really great at talking and podcasting. Some devs are not so much. So, but one of the content creators that we did do well on, I thought, was the show Futuristic episode, which I think was like episode 90 something. I think by that point, we had made a good script that could suit his style of videos and it flowed better. And I don't think when we did, I think the gamer tag one wasn't that great, and Mateo's
That was a
first
tough
one
one. I
wasn't that great.
remember I had tickets to go see John Mulaney, and we talked to Gamertag for a really long time, and it got
Long
to be the
time.
point where I was like, "All right, I have to leave now. I didn't think it was gonna
Yeah.
go this long."
It was good. Like I'm not saying they were bad conversations. They were good
I
conversations. They
understand.
were
Yeah,
fun. It's just that I think on our end the structure of it could have been better, so it flowed better, and we didn't have like those aspects of oh it's gone too long now. It's 2.5 hours now, and Samson needs to go, and we still got to end the
yeah.
show. So yeah, I would definitely read those. But I feel like I'd reach out to them and see if we can do one with them and in the next set of 100 episodes. Last two questions here. What episode would you love to make in the future that we haven't done yet? Samson?
Yeah. Yeah, Dan. So I'd love to do an episode in Walkabout again.
But we
Uh,
have done that, Samson. We have done that twice.
but this time not as an interview with someone from Walkabout.
Wait, I'm confused. Elaborate.
Like we film an episode in Walkabout, but with someone not affiliated with Walkabout.
Oh, I see. So just a general episode within Walkabouts
Yeah,
with
it'd be great if they could put a recording studio in one of these later courses.
just
But
for us.
we can make do with other things. And once again, I feel like it'd be a cool thing to do with someone who is new to VR, or maybe we don't really interview that many people that are not, you know what I'm saying? But like
That
it'd be cool to like play nine and then like
mm,
interview someone.
I was about to
Uh,
say
yeah,
that'll be a good walkabout course to have like a music kind of themed one where maybe there's a concert stage, but then you go to the back, there's a studio, there's like
green room.
yeah, there's all these kind of different aspects of a studio and such. That would be maybe a cool one. I've also kind of gone walkabout themed, but I would love to do it in person at Mighty Coconut Studios in Texas, and I think they're in Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love to do that, and I'm sure if I asked them, they probably would be down for it. But it takes us a lot of planning on our part as well to get flights to Texas and all that
man.
such.
Yeah, no, I could get to Austin pretty easily. You know, that would probably get me to Austin.
Yeah,
I don't
that'd
know
be
that
cool.
there's much that would get me back to Austin. Though Dan, really good. Some of the best brisket I've ever had in my life down there. I think Frank's barbecue.
Fair enough. Fair
Real good,
enough.
real good. Dan, where do you see Let's Talk Oculus by episode 300?
Okay, so episode 300 is going to be, well, it's not an official date, but July 22nd, 2027 is what 52, oh, no, what 100 weeks are from today. July 22nd, 2027. So where do I see yourselves by then? I don't know. I hope we're part of the Quest Creator Program by then because then we'll get more access. You know, like a game like Deadpool, we'll have access and we'll be able to talk about it on the show, which will be really cool. But yeah, I'd also love like by episode 300 if we have even more like community questions and have more episodes dictated by the community. That would be great as well. But yeah, If we can get to 300, that would be amazing.
Busy that day, Squashy. That's a good one. Yeah, Dan. I think on we'll be in like Walkabout season 3000,
Mm,
something like that. I'm not sure. We'll see how long Healing Entree keeps at it. But
nice. Yeah.
yeah, that's I don't know. I'll have more grays.
Maybe. Will one of it? I feel like my hair is going. Like, will we
Hopefully,
have hair? I mean, you will have hair. You think you got a decent head of hair? Mine's like getting thin at the front. Who's to say? Will I? Will I not have any hair? But will I be the
uh,
one wearing a hat?
I was blessed with good hair, but hopefully by then I'll actually be in like my completed what I want
Yeah,
in my completed office area.
yeah.
I've been so I don't know how you say it, but I've been in a lot of different locations, especially even at this one location that I'm at. I've just recorded in every room base, and now you've seen them all too.
You've seen the whole
Now that you've
Samson's
been here,
house.
yeah,
Yeah,
essentially so. And I got to get some muscle over here to help me move this elliptical machine behind me. But hopefully, I'll
we
be
have a nice
having the
little studio.
headsets behind me. That I
And the posters, like I have
Dan.
the posters are both that's the original poster, and then over there's our 100th episode poster, which you can't
Wow,
really see.
I'll have to
But
order some.
they're they're both hung up. And for those of you who don't really know about the poster, if you go onto the merch channel in the Discord, there should be a pinned comment with a Google Drive with both posters that you can just download and print and however you want it. It's just there for free. And if it's not on there, tell me because I haven't checked that for ages, but I'm pretty sure I pinned it. Um, but yeah, I have both those posters there, which is quite nice. But yeah, sweet. Samson,
Um,
that's our questions. Our
I
podcast memories.
damn, great job.
Great job.
I feel like it was a good idea to probably cut out what we've been playing.
Yeah, yeah. It's too much of a long. But just for the last 10 minutes here, Samson. We did mention last week's episode that we will talk about Walkabout Tokyo a little bit more. I do want to mention before we get into that. We did get two release dates. One for Deadpool, which is going to be out on November 18th for $50,
Do you want
and
me to play the
one.
trailer?
No, it's okay. We're going to run through this. And also, Reach is October 16th at $40 USD. Yeah, it's okay. Don't sound. I know we had trailers
I'm
put
so
up, but
tempted,
it's
Dan.
it's
I'm
okay.
pressing the walkabout one.
You can do the walkabout one. Anyway, so that's that, and there's a couple more game announcements, but we'll talk about that more next week, just because of time here. Let's finish off the show with Walkabout Tokyo, Samson.
Let's do it. Let's do
So,
it.
there we go. We got a little tray. Look at this. Look at this.
Let's play the
Fancy.
trailer, Dan, on a little loop here.
I'm glad we got at least one video working on this live stream.
Well,
Uh,
we're professional here. We figured it out within 200 episodes how to get video here while we're live. Oh, look, Dan, I'm above you.
yeah, so Walkabout Tokyo. So we gave our initial impressions last week. We both liked it. I think one biggest thing I said was the music. I like really loved it. And even to this day, like I think out of all the different music in Walkabout, and there's a lot of good tracks, this is definitely up there as one of my favorites for sure. But let's kind of go a little bit more in depth. Samson, did you have any favorite holes?
Oh, I had some favorite holes. Hole 5. This was the bar hole where you go into a bar and it feels really tight, small space. There's a cat purring,
Yeah, yeah,
and it is chef's kiss for just vibes of what I imagine a very small bar in old Japan feels like.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, hole 5 is my by far my favorite hole. So much to look at, so many different cans, so much artwork around. I had a couple other favorites. Did you have a favorite before I go into them?
First of all, hi Fiona, who's in the chat. I didn't realize it was
Hello.
Fiona because it just said the as there, so I didn't know who it was. But thank you so much for jumping in, Fiona. I've seen all your comments in there. I didn't have too many favorite holes, but I really liked 15, which is the cafe where there's like a big donut to shoot in. As soon as you go in, like it's like the second hole in there. And also 5 was my other one before I throw it back to you. Which I thought 5 was the one with the diagonal ramp, but you said 5 was the bar with the purring cat. So I obviously got it wrong.
I
Um,
think so. I mean, I could have gotten it wrong, Dan.
it might have been 6, it might have been, no, it can't have been 6, it would have been before the bar. I think it was before the bar, 1 before the bar, but essentially, it's the hole where, it's kind of a straight shot, but in the middle of the hole, there's a diagonal ramp. So if you hit it straight and you with enough power and a little bit to the right, I would say, you can get it through the hole at the end, and then that's where the actual hole is. A little slit at the end, and that's where the hole is. But if you hit it too short, it'll go down the ramp, and then you have to go round. I really like that one because it's really satisfying when you do hit it straight through the slit. So yeah,
Uh, Moving right along, Dan. My other two favorites: hole 7, which is at the spa, where
yeah,
you
with the
see what's.
capybaras.
Yes, thank you. I
Mhm.
see.
Yep, there you
I'm
go
glad. I'm
on
glad
the
you remember.
screen. You
Yeah,
just saw it on the screen
they're
there.
just chilling there, and that when you walk into the spa, and there's a fabric, the three fabrics, and you can interact with the fabrics,
Mhm.
in that they move when you walk, or fly through them, and
Yeah.
you can whack them with your stick.
Yeah.
Uh, then hole 16 is a sushi restaurant with
Well,
the sushi where it goes around.
yeah. Yeah.
I also really like that vibe.
Yeah, and Kimberly said the pachinko hole with the sound is so satisfying. That's so fun as well. They always do really good with the sound. Say, Samson, any least favorite holes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Least favorite hole was number 6, which is it's like the L where
Yeah.
you got to hit the crate,
Yeah.
and yeah. How about
Just
how about
like the
yourself?
simple, I'd say, yeah, like 6. There are some basic holes in this one. There's one that's like, it's after the spa with the capybaras when you go into the house, and there's a couple capybaras just sat up watching you. It's a very simple hole. It's just like using, like just squared angles essentially. So yeah, that's the only one thing I'd say with this course, that there are a few like very simple standard holes. There are some really good ones too, but like the capybara spa one's an excellent one. I think you hit the nail on the head. I forgot about that one because I had the steam as well, which will push your ball, which is really cool. Samson, do you have any favorite balls? And if you
Oh,
do you have a video for favorite balls?
Dan, I'm glad you asked, because I do have a ball. I mean, a
A video.
video of the balls. So my favorite ball was the koi fish, and there's one with like a swan, a bird on it. These ones almost feel like art pieces. I'm not sure they'd be my favorite to play a round of golf
Yeah,
with,
I see what you're
but
saying.
they are my favorite to look at, and we haven't yet come up to them yet in the video. The koi fish is there on the right, I think. Yeah, this one right now. It's blue with all the fish around it.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if they're koi fish or not, but some sort of
Some sort of
fish
fish.
lining the ball. And then right there is in the front is the bird. Yep, right there. I've selected it.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
beauty. I
nice
stay
one.
on it a little longer because I like it. Uh,
You're quite right. Like it's definitely the balls definitely look like artwork more than golf balls that you'll probably play with. You hit the nail on the head, to be honest with you. I
Thanks.
really like the green one, the one with the two bottles. I like the artwork on that one. There's also a white one in here, which we'll come up to at some point, which has like some, I don't know if it's like a red dragon on there, or no, it can't be a red dragon. I can't remember what it is. It's like red markings on there as well, which I really like. But yeah, for some reason, none of these balls I'd want to play with either. There's other ones that I still like over them, but yeah, just nice artwork, nice designs for sure.
Fantastic
That's
stuff.
the one. That red one with the flower. That's what it is. It's like a flower in the
Gotcha.
middle and like a paint stroke around it. Sweet.
But yeah,
Yes.
overall, what are your overall thoughts on this one?
Well, before overall with Fox Hunt really quickly,
Oh
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
you're right.
we won't show the Fox Hunt on here, just in case some of you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I'll go back to
Um,
the trailer.
I thought the Fox Hunt was pretty straightforward, but actually quite good one. Especially with the different characters that you had to find and whatnot. But the actual putter itself, okay, okay putter. Okay putter. It's got more of like it's like what like an ice cream on the top kind of thing
That's
with the
sort of what
cat.
I see too. I mean, it's sort of like a stretched out cat and maybe an ice cream or something. I'm not 100% sure.
It's what it
It's
looks like, but
yeah.
it can't be ice cream. But yeah, it's okay. It's not a putter that I would play with. I prefer the traditional putters, which is this one is for sure. It's not like a really wacky putter, but something like Upside Down is still one of the ones that I would put above this, which has like a similar esque, but just has a little bit more going on with it.
Yeah, I've still been using the 8-bit layer for when I'm on my Quest. When I'm on PlayStation, I still haven't done
The lock
Xbox.
zone.
I haven't done any of them on it. Yeah,
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, overall thoughts. Sorry, Samson, I cut you off there. What are your overall thoughts?
no worries, but don't let it happen again. My overall thoughts. This is going. So on the talk about on Upload VR, they mentioned that this is sort of a spiritual successor to Cherry Blossom, and it very much feels that way. It's a good vibe. It feels good to be there. You really feel like you go through all these different parts of the city and the arcade. That's a nice little touch.
Mhm.
The music's a good vibe. See, at first I was a bit put off by the cats, the whatever
Yeah, they're
the
very
branded cats,
very different
the
art style
the
compared to
thick
the
black
rest.
line. Yeah. But now that I played it more and more, that I don't
There's not
it
many of
doesn't
them
feel as
either.
abrupt. Yeah.
There's not many of them, to be honest. I think that the whole 3 is, like, the one that they have the most on, to be honest with you, but there's
And
not many.
there's a huge one in the
It
night
is a big
in the
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've grown on me, and I don't really mind them anymore. And it's I like it. I do I appreciate the fake places, but I'm liking these real cities, and I'm looking forward to whatever the next real city is. And now I got to get myself to Japan.
Well, I do wonder if I know Japan's always been on my list. I still haven't been, but maybe in 2027 potentially. I was gonna say what was I gonna say? I've now lost my train of thought. Samson now lost my train of thought. We
Well, there is a train in this course as well. I did
There
ride
is.
it for a bit. I
Yeah.
think it has 2 or 3 stops. I didn't ride it the whole way, but I did ride it through to one stop.
I remember what I was gonna say. In the bar area, there's a bunch of posters, and there's like different places. Like there's one from India, one Egypt, and such. And I'm wondering if those are hints on the future passport ones. So when you go into the bar, if you just turn around behind you, there's posters. You actually see it in the trailer when you go into the
It's
bar.
quick.
Yeah, it's quick, but because you see, yeah, it's just at the top up there. So it has like India, Egypt, and a couple other ones. So they could
Only somebody
potentially
could
be,
pause it.
yeah, Samsung. If only somebody could do it. But my overall thoughts, love the music. The graphics look really good. Like just big thing. Like there's so many elements packed in here. I love the fact that there's like random alleyways that you can kind of go down, and there's nothing really there in terms of like hidden balls. There might be. I can't remember if there is, but I haven't found all of them myself. Yeah, Samsung paused it at the right spot. If you can see at the top, very top, you see it like a bit of an India in there. There's Egypt on the left of it. I don't see what that is on the left of that, but there's three of them basically
Yeah.
in
I
there.
don't
But
think I can zoom and enhance.
no. But yeah, there could be like a hint of the next passport places, passport series, and I definitely think they will, Dave. And see your comment in there. There's space for it in the shack. I think they will continue it for sure. I do like the idea of this, but yeah, the fact that you can go into alleyways and such and just go around, but you can just explore this place. Even if you're not looking for balls or anything, it's just you're just exploring. It's really cool. Want to shout out to whoever's done the lighting or the team that's done the lighting. The lighting in this is amazing. The fact that
Jeff Bull,
did Jeff
dude,
Bull do the lighting?
he did some of the lighting in this course.
Well, it's amazing. So, yeah, I haven't watched their
Pretty
like
sure.
developer series, but um, when you go through this, obviously it's dark, or depending on which mode you've gone. But then if you go to like the grocery store, for example, it's lit up as light as what a grocery store
The
light would
fluorescent
be.
lighting.
Like it feels like it as well when you're in there, as well as all these different little parts of it as well. The lighting is incredible. I think this is one of the best like showcases of the Quest power in terms of what they've been able to do with it, with the lighting, and in hard mode with the rain. The fact that they have these like little trickle of rain droplets, and the droplets go onto the ground, and the droplets disappear, and then they have puddles which look pretty decent as well. Yeah, it's just kind of showing off the graphical power that they've put in this
Dan,
specific course.
the rain, as pointed out by Baru Monkey, is always in the same spot, so it'll appear and disappear, so you can use it to help aim.
Guide. Oh yeah, that's definitely a brew monkey top tip right there. He's always looking for those
Top tip. I like
little
that.
areas. Yeah, I have a good time with this. It's definitely not my favorite course this year. I think that's more to do with the course like design in terms of the hole to hole design. Like I feel like there are some really like straightforward holes, some really cool ones like the bar one, for example. But overall, it's a fun time nonetheless. It's a fun time.
It's a lovely place to spend a day.
Samson, that's our show. That's 200. An hour and a half.
Dan, I don't know how to get rid of the media.
Can you not just go all the way to the end of the bar of that? Or yeah,
Oh, I know. Hold on.
here we go. Yay, there we go. Host
Oh yeah, we're
Samson.
professionals. We did it. More media coming your way in episodes 200 plus.
Well, the next live episode we'll do is the Connect. Even though most of that's
Right around the
probably not
corner.
going to be VR, but it is. Yes, it's just less than a month away. I think it's on September 17th at around 1 p.m. Eastern. So we'll do that live, just because so we can live stream it and react to it, and we'll do it on this platform and with Samsung hosting because.
My internet held up here.
Yeah, I don't. None of you in the chat have said anything about the like quality or anything like that, which that means I'm assuming it's good, as well as the sound as well, which this seems way better than what we did before. But hey, we're always getting better. But thanks everyone thanks to everybody. People on the live stream, people on just in general who are listening to this on their commute in later time. People in the UK who haven't had a chance to listen to this because it's on at 3 a.m. Also. Thank you so much for supporting us for 200 episodes. I still can't believe it's been 200 episodes. Samson, it's been 4 years, which is
Yeah,
mad.
it's a long time. Dan, you're like in your 30s now. You were in your 20s when you started.
Yeah, that's so true. I've now officially, I think when we started, I was 26 and I'm now 30. I'm going on to 31 in October. That's blown my mind. That's really blown my mind. Oh my gosh. Here's to another 100 episodes, Samson, and to everyone in there. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone for watching. And I guess next week we'll see you for a regular episode, not a live one. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Samson, you have to end
Oh,
it.
I have to end it, Dan. I'm so used to you ending the podcast. That's a great outtake. Have a good night, everybody. Though, really.